The autumn wind is a Raider. That's a line from the battle hymn of the Oakland Raiders, the NFL's most notorious franchise, and in full disclosure, my favorite team. So no one was more excited than me to get wind that the city of San Antonio was working to lure the silver and black here. But it turns out all that Raider talk may just be a lot of hot air. They play in the league's fourth oldest stadium, WOAI-TV Coliseum in Oakland, a venue widely panned as the worst in the NFL. The Raiders owner Mark Davis isn't shy. He wants a new home for his team, and he's willing to uproot the club to get it, raising speculation that Davis could move the silver and black to South Texas.
I think our stock is very high with the Raiders.
That's Henry Cisneros, former San Antonio mayor, current CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, part of a delegation that's courted Davis and the Raiders for months.
I think they understand they could make more money here than they're making in Oakland today, right now, with the facilities that are available here.
Cisneros makes a good point. The Alamo Dome here in San Antonio is far superior to WOAI-TV Coliseum. It offers more luxury seats, higher seating capacity, plus it's about to get $44 million in upgrades. But even if Cisneros is right about the dome,
more than adequate to make the finances of the Raiders work.
180! Silver and black ownership isn't looking for a short-term fix. Davis wants the Raiders playing in a new state-of-the-art facility, a billion-dollar stadium that would require taxpayer help. With the city of Oakland unable to come up with a plan so far, Cisneros says San Antonio is still in play.
All I can tell you is it's my judgment that we're still very much in the hunt. And those are not my words. Those are words conveyed to me directly by the Raiders organization.
Cisneros was told that a few weeks ago, just as Stan Kroenke, owner of the St. Louis Rams, announced plans to build a stadium in the Raiders and Rams' old hometown of Los Angeles.
From the city standpoint, it's being hopeful and optimistic, but really the reality of the Raiders, or really any NFL franchise coming to San Antonio at this point, I think is really a long shot.
That's Dr. Emily Sparvero. Unlike a lot of us, she isn't a cheerleader for San Antonio. Sparvero is an expert in sports marketing and economics at the University of Texas, and she's about to sack the idea of the Raiders moving here.
The Raiders are hoping to create a bidding war, and in order to get someone in their region to pony up the public funds, they have to have someone to bid against.
The reason our city is a pawn and not a real player is economics. Sparvero says NFL cities need big-time corporate cash.
If you don't have the corporate presence, it's really not sustainable.
And San Antonio lacks the wealth of Fortune 500 companies that the Bay Area around Oakland and the Raiders' other relocation option of Los Angeles offer.
The bulk of the revenues flowing to NFL teams have come from corporate sales, whether they're sponsorship, naming rights, advertising in the stadiums, club suites, luxury boxes. That's all corporate.
But last month, Cisneros suggested this: build a stadium north of the city.
In order to draw the Austin market, for example, in a location that was easier from a San Antonio-Austin perspective.
Taking advantage of the combined corporate power of San Antonio and Austin. Not a bad idea in terms of economics and marketing.
You know, it's certainly not unprecedented for there to be a regional effort.
But a disastrous road to travel if you're talking about constructing a stadium somewhere along Interstate 35 outside of both cities.
The worst idea, if you're talking about a regional partnership, would be to split the difference and put it somewhere that's not really accessible to either metropolitan area.
Sparvero also points this out.
Because there is a very different cultural flair between the two cities.
Where San Antonio loves the Spurs and would no doubt welcome the silver and black, people in Austin are more indie rock, into extreme sports, and the Raiders may not click with their culture.
The whole keep Austin weird, we're a groovy town. So something like the X Games fits very well into that, whereas professional football might not have the same appeal.
So, while some city leaders think the Raiders are still eyeing a move to San Antonio,
So there's a lot of factors at play here.
Barbero says football fans in San Antonio should just probably hold on to their Cowboys and Texans jerseys for now.
I think that might be a good idea for the near future.
One more reason it's not likely that the Raiders relocate here to San Antonio, the team to our north with stars on their helmets and that AFC franchise to our west. See, Sparvero points out it takes 24 of the league's 32 owners to vote and approve any move. And she says ownership of the Cowboys and the Texans will probably fight the Raiders relocating to San Antonio because they don't want a team here cutting into their fan bases. Reporting from the Alamo Dome, I'm News 4 troubleshooter Stacey Cameron.